to every corner of the galaxy.
We all know what it's like. You're busy managing your settlement when suddenly the alarms go off.
Oh no, not again.
That's right. A commander with a Federation naval rank of Admiral, an Imperial King no less, has landed in a ship worth over 100 million credits and is killing all your staff, while they look around for a 10 credit adhesive to glue an upgraded scope to their 100,000 credit assault rifle. They fly away with their super glue and you're left with a problem. How are you going to get your agricultural plant back up and running?
How am I going to get my plant up and running?
How are you going to find staff at short notice?
How am I going to find staff at short notice?
How are you going to deal with all those bodies?
There's bodies everywhere, and they've stained the carpet.
Wonder no longer. Call Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services.
Hello, I'm Harry from Harry's Mine. After a sudden increase in robberies and murders by commanders since 3307, I've gained valuable expertise in cleaning up bodies, recruiting new staff and restocking stationary lockers. Now you can benefit from my experience by signing up to our Crime Scene Cleanup Service subscription plan.
That's right. For only a small monthly fee, when your settlement alarms are activated, our rapid response cleanup crew will be dispatched, along with our patented Cadaver Scoop 150. The Cadaver Scoop 150 can be mounted to surface reconnaissance vehicles and skimmers to make tidying up your settlement a breeze.
Wow, the bodies are gone.
Our recruitment team has potential new employees on standby across the galaxy, ready to fill your vacant roles in security, logistics, administration, processing, and more.
My plant's operational again. Thanks, Ares Crime Scenes Cleanup Services.
Ares Crime Scene Cleanup Services. We'll have your settlement as good as new before the next ship arrives. Cadaver Scoop 150 disposal bags sold separately.
Hey Commanders, this is Mick from Crazy Mick's Reptile Emporium and Warehouse. Due to a hysterical ordering mishap and not reading the fine print, I'm currently in possession of over 10,000 snakes. Many of which are deadly, so everything must go. We have anacondas, asps, cobras, diamondbacks, fodlans, keelback, kraits, mambas, pythons, sidewinders and vipers, none of which are capable of spaceflight without being strapped to a rocket. Need a pet for your cockpit? Buy a snake. Need to scare your mother-in-law and give her a heart attack for the insurance money? Buy a snake. Need to fill a beluga full of snakes to assassinate a witness on their way to a Federation courthouse? Buy many snakes. Bulk discounts are available at Crazy Mick's Reptile Emporium and Warehouse. You can find us in the Lave Business Directory or visit us at the former site of Sensible Michael's Shipyard and Outfitting Warehouse. Will somebody get these mother snakes out of my mother warehouse?
not even like a needle in a haystack. Someone's been there, but they never went back. Is it a gateway or maybe more? Access on your mind. There's a mystery machine wrapping up my every dream. Now there's tinfoil everywhere. I don't know who is who or care.
welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous,
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from an orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 490 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite Dangerous and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, otherwise known as Colin Ford, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder Bar for this episode, we do have our SRV Banksy, that is Commander Alec Turner.
The rings, I can see them with my waking eye.
Okay, yes. Are you being cultural there?
It's a cross blend between Lord of the Rings and the Buckyball race. That's about it.
Okay, yes. Fair enough. Can you match that, Head of Health and Safety, Ben Moss-Woodward? A bit of class, maybe?
I'm Commander Angel of Ice, and this is my favourite podcast on the internet.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, I think you should go. Right.
I didn't sound like that, do I?
Yes, you do. That is our staff liaison officer, Commander Psychic, otherwise known as Claire. Hello?
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 She's gone, mate.
Oh, you are joking me.
I thought she was just being sort of ironically quiet.
Me too. Oh,
I guess I'll cycle back round.
I guess that's that sorted.
We were talking. You lot heard her on air. She was talking like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, that's what I said. You should go, and she did.
Are you a genie, Colin?
No, I'm not going. I'm not going to. Right now, if you wish, we'll hopefully that Psychic will be getting back to us after a reboot. So if you wish, you can join us live. I do believe Ben and the Chris Mock 4 will be hanging out in Lave Station.
We are at the moment, yes.
Yes. At our usual table, and Psychic's done a Colin. It's blooming Discord, right, isn't it? If you can't get to us in game, you can also join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat, or you can go straight to twitch.tv/laveradio, where we're live on Twitch, and we're also live on YouTube. So, yeah. I'll ask the other guys what happens. What's happened in this?
Hi.
No,
I'm back.
Hi.
I can hear you now.
Back. Quickly, say something cultural.
Yeah. Oh, no. Hang on. Doctor Who was good, wasn't it? Hang on, something more cultural. Vivaldi.
I think something cultural. Psychic showing a distinct shortfall of gravitas.
Vivaldi or some shit. I don't know.
Well, the only culture I know is in a tub of yogurt. So, moving on. Let's have a quick word and see what everybody's been doing this week, apart from fighting the internet, which seems to be a theme on this show at the moment. Psychic, how have you been this week?
Oh, good. Yeah, good. The sun's been shining, hasn't it? So it's made the world a difference. It's been nice. Over the weekend, I managed to go out and visit. I got to go out and catch up with some of my friends that I haven't seen for 8 years and 6 years respectively. So pre-COVID times and those kind of things. It was really, really nice to go and say hello to my very good pals and catch up with their children who are now putting together coherent sentences, which they definitely weren't the last time I saw them. So yeah, it was super cool. It was a really super cool thing to go and see friends that I talk to a lot, but I don't get to actually see very often. And that was really, really nice. What else have I been up to? I've been doing some buckyballing in Elite. That's been really fun. I've been working on an awful lot of things. I've had a couple of like little production meetings about other things which have taken a lot of time and energy to work on, and half of them probably won't even come to fruition, as is the way with collaborations and content shit. But yeah, that's about it. It's been just a nice to get out when the sun's shining and feel like it might actually be summer. That said, it did just absolutely piss it down, but the sky is blue again, so one can hope that it was just a momentary lapse in weather. But it was really nice, really nice, really good week.
Excellent. Well, we'll pass on to Ben.
Yeah, I got caught in Claire's rain probably just about an hour ago as a sort of through Birmingham, I think. Because
I didn't anybody had coronated her yet, but never mind.
Give it time. It's only a matter of time.
We always knew you were a queen, darling.
Whichever way you want to, whichever way you want to do that.
Is this going?
So yeah, did that. Over the weekend I saw the Mad Max Furiosa and the Fall Guy, both very good fun popcorn movies. Mad Max Furiosa was but yeah, I loved it.
Very what?
Very Mad Max, I think I'll say.
Okay.
Chris Hemsworth is awesome in it. You know, I loved his portrayal. I did find out there's a character whose name is Ricus Erectus, which
no, that was Carry On Caesar or whatever it was called.
that was Biggest Dickus.
Okay. Pretty much the same thing though, right?
Pretty much.
So there was a Ricus Erectus in Furiosa, which myself and my colleagues all found very amusing this morning. And apart from that, I've been listening to the Mass Effect audiobooks, and I could only listen to about one and a bit of them before I was like, I need to play this bloody game again. And therefore I have succumbed to re-downloading Legendary Edition and then about 80 odd gigs worth of mods to make it look absolutely bloody fantastic. And yeah, I can't believe how beautiful Mass Effect 1 looks now with the mods that we've got for it. And Mass Effect, I'm only at the beginning of Mass Effect 2, but a lot of videos mod for that makes the videos at least absolutely glorious. Everything else feels much as I remember it, but it's obviously it was a much more modern game when it first came out, and yeah, I'm loving it again.
Yay!
Excellent.
But this does mean I have played absolutely no Elite, I'm afraid, since last Tuesday because I've been too busy doing Mass Effect.
It has a habit of doing that to you.
Don't know, can't relate really. I
Oh,
feel like
no,
I
of course
feel
you
like you
can.
just play it once and then you never go back to it.
No, yeah. One and dump. Right. Alec.
Yes. Hello. I too have been enjoying making use of the nice weather, and I mowed the lawn, which I know will come as very exciting news for the Loose Cruise folks who are really into their lawn mowing at the moment. We went to Cliveden House, which is a sort of ridiculously, we didn't stay there, I should hasten to add, it's a ridiculously expensive luxury hotel these days, but it's also a stately home, and National Trust own its gardens, so you can go and wander around this the nice grounds of Cliveden House, and the people that are paying £550 a night upwards for their rooms can't do a thing about it. Ha! I watched an interesting series on Netflix. I've been watching a few of these sort of drama things that are recreating things like, there was a good one a few weeks ago about Spotify. But anyway, I watched a thing called Mixed by Eri, which is an Italian Netflix drama based on a true story of 3 Italian kids who start tape bootlegging and basically take it to the most unbelievable industrial levels, like warehouses full of tape bootlegging machines, hundreds and hundreds of them. It's interesting. I didn't know much about tape bootlegging and quite how far it went, and it's quite an eye-opener. It's a good little drama. And then in game, I have just been doing the buckyball race and damn near driving myself insane. I wish I'd kept all my, because I videoed every run for evidence, and then I tend to delete them at the end of the session. I keep any that are worthwhile runs that I'm going to submit, and I just delete all the others. I wish I'd kept them to make an epic blooper reel, because I was checking my logs this morning and I undocked from Bunch City, which is the start line, 154 times.
Wow.
God damn, that race drove me mental. I'd love to know how many actual complete runs I managed. About a dozen, I'd say. I was just trying to throw myself through those rings at insane speeds because of the stupid flipping bonus that I was trying to get, and I just couldn't make it go through. Anyway, more on that later. But it was damn fun. But yeah, I very nearly went insane doing it.
Well, I completely avoided it, I'm afraid to say. I ran out of time for in my Elite playthroughs this over the week because I've been very, very busy doing stuff.
Probably a good idea. Like heroin, it was a bit moreish.
Yeah.
I'm told.
Yeah. I did notice some people saying, I've just been doing the buckyball, I've just rage quit.
Some people, you mean me?
No.
It was definitely me.
You. Oh, yeah. It was definitely you, but there were others as well.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Holy shit. We'll probably end up talking about it in a minute, but holy shit.
Yeah, probably. So I've been doing a lot of just general mucking about in Elite, but I have been preparing my Python 2 to go after some authoresses. So I've now got a Python 2 ready to go after the Thor alert systems, which we'll probably be all talking about later anyway. Yeah, so that was that. Apart from that, I've been getting into a kind of Eastern theme for the last week. I made the mistake of downloading Jade Empire, which was the BioWare game they did before Mass Effect, and it's basically just imagine Knights of the Old Republic or Mass Effect, but with kung fu instead of guns. It's absolutely amazing. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And because I was doing that, scrolling through Netflix, I came across this thing called Blue Eye Samurai. And yeah, I binged that in one night, which I don't recommend that people do binge all the way through because you feel rotten the next day, but it was very good. Not one for the kids, but very good. So, so moving on from there, well, let's have a look at the development news and what have the devs said this week. Well, in addition to the rafts of text and changes they made to the Thargoid War last week, they've gone and done a little bit more refinement, which I was a little bit confused about because they've gone and updated the Spire sites. Apparently, it was a server-side update, and yes, it was changes to the Spire sites, which started last Thursday. Previously, there's an extra 15% due to spread pushback. Yeah, it came out with a load of figures. It seemed like they were doing more tweaking to the Spire sites, which is, I suppose, a good thing. But
obviously, I know, but for the sake of the viewers, Colin, could you just explain what spread pushback is?
It's where that you have a load of pushback, which is spread out.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I see. Cool.
Yes. And it's
Okay.
basically it's a whole load of systems which they are pushing back, but it's a whole load of them which are spread out.
Spread out. Yeah. Thanks.
Yes. So then it's a push. You know, it is so rude when you think about it. I have got other thoughts going around in my head when people are saying that. And yes, let's just move on. They have also said that in addition, the anti-Xeno conflict zones within the Counter-Strike systems are now correctly visible in the navigation panel, which is good. And of course, everybody who did manage to get their 4-star McThargoid badge got it last Thursday.
Yes.
I've got my 4 stars. Have you?
Oh yes. Somebody pointed out. Somebody pointed out on Twitter that the more we get, like I'm 4 for 4 so far, but you know, the more you get, the more terrified you are of missing one. Can you imagine missing the last one because you're going on holiday or something?
I can agree to that because I literally do not give a fuck anymore.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, you do.
I'm invested.
No, I really, really don't actually. I'll go along and I'll shoot some Thargoids, and if they die, they die, and But I am well in awareness that whenever it happens, it's going to be a week at a time that I'm not about, and I just have to live with that.
Yes, because they're doing it on purpose to stop Ben.
Oh, it's all just to piss me off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just
that's definitely.
I'm just accepting this. Yeah. It's just like I am the Zen of
you
not
for
getting
sure
my
featured
critique.
in the calculations. Definitely.
Oh, I know I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes. So also the last week there was the Frontier Unlock number 5, showing us the first glance of the Type 8, which we'll be talking about soon. However, they did also on other topics. Psyche, you're a F1 fan.
Mm-hmm.
When they went through the F1 manager, did you think actually they managed to turn it around?
I'm never ever going to play that game, and I'll tell you for why. I'll tell you directly for why. Is that my playtime will stop before I manage to complete the team and outfit creation. That will be my entire playthrough of that game. Will be just solely making my cars look pretty, and I will never get out of the garage. Never ever. It's never ever going to happen. But I did think, and I had this conversation with Chris as well, that it feels like this is the game that they wanted to put out 2 years ago. This is F1 Manager in its final form. This is what we wanted.
Yes.
What we want from this game. Providing all of the promises that they've made are all come to fruition.
Yes.
Which is the other thing.
Yeah. I am personally, as those of you who know that my son is an absolute F1 fanatic, so we'll be getting that, and we'll probably be doing our streams again, showing my complete incompetence at anything F1 technically related. So that's the end of the development news. I'm going to hand over for the community corner.
Before we do that, there was a thing
to the community corner.
Oh, he's already playing the thing.
Right, we'll go for it.
It's a dead game, innit, mate?
Did I talk over that? Anyway, whatever.
Yes, you did. It was classic. Lave Radio at its best.
I tried to put the brakes on, but the community news was rolling. There's no stopping it once it's going. Community news. We've got a few things lined up. I'm just going to touch on this mostly so people can find the links if they want to see it for themselves. But some people may have heard there was a bit of a kerfuffle. Our own lovely Galnet News Digest did a funny where they accused the AXI of immoral Thargoid war activity. Basically on the back of the AXI saying that the NPC ships in the 24-hour overheat period where everyone's trying to kill loads of fleeing Orthrai and whatever, the NPC ships are causing undue aggro and making that difficult. And so the AXI's orders were to wipe out all the NPC ships first, and then you could slaughter Thargoids to your heart's content. So Galnet News digested a funny saying, basically accusing the AXI of immoral war activities.
No, it's not funny. It's perfectly serious.
Well,
this is
exactly,
a serious matter.
because Commander Mechan then defended his position and made his own video defending his position. I think I'm going to keep my thoughts to myself on this and just refer you to the show notes so you can watch the videos and make up your own mind on how this is all playing out. Yes, moving swiftly on. I mentioned last week that Elite Dangerous are continuing to work on their ship interiors kind of mock-up thing and develop it into something that you'll actually, it's a third-party site. It's out of game, obviously, but it's a thing where they're trying to develop their own idea of ship interiors as sort of partly as a thought project and partly as a thing they can use in their adventures, I think. So it's interesting. This week he was Fargasu was looking at EVA, which was quite fun. So he was picking an asset to represent a derelict ship and then placing it alongside the Cobra and then sort of showing how you'd walk out the back of the Cobra and be able to float across to the derelict. So he's sort of actually developing this in real time as we speak as we watch on a live stream. So yeah, it's interesting. Be still curious to see where that's going to go. Ricardo's Gaming put out a really nice brief history of the frameshift drive. Obviously now we've got the Super Cruise Overcharge and a new generation of frameshift drives. He's sort of just looking back on the whole history of where the frameshift drive came from and how it's evolved over time. So that's quite a good little watch. Another ongoing story, the Hutton Run continues. I mentioned, I think a couple of weeks ago or last week, that Stargoid and team got knocked off the #1 spot, but they have come back fighting. So they have reclaimed the #1 spot on Hutton Run twice now, actually. I think they beat it by 2 seconds and decided that wasn't enough and went back and beat it by some more. So they have now done the Hutton Run as a team in 26 minutes and 21 seconds.
Bloody hell, that is impressive.
It's mental, isn't it?
It is.
Very good.
It's like,
It's almost,
consider it. The precision for like jumping between the different people and all of that team effort is really cool. I really like it.
They're totally going to devalue the Hutton mug. I mean, they'll be common as muck if people can get there in 20 minutes and get a batch. What else have we got? Oh, yes. So we're going to touch on this later, so it seemed appropriate. But I think as with the Python Mark II, a bunch of content creators got slightly early access to the Type 8 assets and things to make their own content. And I thought Commander Exorcist was rather good. He's done his kind of usual, quite long, talky piece where he talks about what you can see from the ship and the thinking behind the design and thinking about what the ship might be used for. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good listen and some nice thoughtful ideas in that one. So yeah, that's Commander Exorcist. Next, okay, buckyball time, I guess. So first thing I wanted to shout out was Commander Homburger, who whenever he can he's got a fantastic blog, and whenever there's a race he tries to blog about it. This one was really good. He had a bit of a rough week, unfortunately. He got stepped on by his horse, among other things. But he's still managed to put out a really good blog post entitled "And Now for Something Completely Different." There's a bit in it that I think Colin will completely appreciate. So Homburger decided to use his adder for this race. His
It's
adder,
phenomenal.
which is beautifully named "I Think I'm Going Bald," and is sporting a very fancy racing paint job. And he says in his blog, "The adder, of course, is Commander Phoenix Defire's favourite ship. He loves them so much that he's renamed this stunning vessel of mine the Polished Turd."
You know what? You know that over the weekend in one of my on my stream, I actually had the ultimate moment where I just finished massacring a load of outcasts, and they sent a ship after me, and it was a novice adder against my Python Mark II.
Brilliant.
Oh, so satisfying.
It's quite an impressive little adder he's got there, actually. It can go at 742 meters a second and has a jump range of around 50 light years.
Impressive, but it's still an adder.
Yes, and then onto the race itself, which finished on Sunday. So ring tossers rally. It only occurred to me to sort of phrase it like this as I was just thinking about today's show. But really, it's a race that used the rings around planets as gates. It was a supercruise race course using rings as gates. How genius is that? That was the entire concept. It was brilliant. There's a few things I was going to shout out, and then I guess I might ask Psyche on some of her thoughts. But I wanted to start, because I think this is beautiful, by reading out the list of ships in the unlimited class. So normally when we do a bucketball race, unlimited class, there'll be a load of DBXs at the top maybe, or if the race is a bit more sort of space based, it'll be normal space. It'll be like a bunch of Imperial couriers and a few random ships where somebody just decides to run a T9 for the shits and giggles. But listen to this. This is the ship rundown from top down to 12th place. We have a beluga liner, a Federal assault ship, a vulture, a dolphin, an eagle, an imperial clipper, a sidewinder, a cobra, another eagle, a sidewinder, an asp scout, a diamondback explorer. How crazy! Every single we've got two eagles and all the rest are different. Beautiful. Right, let's do the winners in reverse order. So in unlimited, we have Reiko in the Vulture, who managed to get around the course in 6 minutes 16 and zip through a ring at 69 times the speed of light for a massive 2-minute bonus. Then we have Brusky in a Federal assault ship, of all things, who zipped around the course in 5 minutes and 34 with a 62 C bonus speed for a final score of 349. And in first place, as of course it is, Commander Shay Blackwood flying a beluga liner, who flew that round the course in 5 minutes 18 and zipped through some rings at 55 times the speed of light for a final score of 333. Those speed bonuses and times are insane. My hat's off to everyone. And regulation, I'll just zip down those as well. So this is the regulation Cobra. So no supercruise overcharge in the regulation Cobra for this. So we have Reiko, who came in third in 11 minutes 57 and went through the rings at 28 times the speed of light. We have Brusky in second with 11 minutes and 4 seconds. 29 times the speed of light. And then in first place, we have Commander Darplatter. Really nice to see Darplatter in first, because a long-time regular bucketball racer, but to see him in the number 1 spot in such a stiff competition is fantastic, and I will explain how in a second. His base time was 11 minutes 18, which is the second fastest base time, and then he managed to shoot through the rings at 38 times the speed of light for a final score of 9 minutes 48. What Darplatter did, which is really interesting, is we had Indigo on, and he talked about this race and how three of the Six of the planets are in pairs. So there's like 2 loner planets with rings, and then there's 3 pairs. And what everyone did was shoot through the pairs as a pair. So basically, plot a course in Super Cruise where you fly through one ring, turn towards the other one, and fly through the other one. So do them as a pair. What Darkplatter did, which is really intriguing and never would have occurred to me, was he singled them all out. So, for example, planets 7 and 8 were a pair, and 5 and 6, and 3 and 4. So he'd do something like, I can't remember his exact route, but he'd go 3, 5, 7, 4, 8. So he didn't do any of the pairs as a pair. And it turned out to be fast, extraordinary. How did you enjoy it, Psychic?
What? He did none of the pairs as a pair?
No, he did none of the pairs as a pair. I think. See, I've been thinking about
I
it. 'Cause
suppose
that
it's a
fascinates me.
turning around, isn't it? If you needed to.
There's turning round, and I also think because you get the gravitational slowdown from going close to those bodies, by going through a pair, you're kind of getting a double slowdown effect.
I suppose so.
Whereas if you zip through one and then build up your speed, and then zip through another and then build your speed up again, you're not getting that cumulative. I don't know. Fascinating.
Yeah, that would never have occurred to me. I had a really, really good first day trying it. I thought I was really enjoying myself every single time I went out. I did one regulation Cobra time and went, that'll do, and that was it. But then I really, for the I've not done an unlimited race for ages. I've not done a limited race for absolutely ages, so usually I just focus on the Cobra, make sure I've at least got the regulation run done, and then I'm happy. But this time it's kind of the other way around, because you can obviously, with the SEO, you can squeeze more run attempts in with the SEO, and boy, was that so much fun on the first day. My time kept going down by like a minute at a time each time I was running it.
Oh,
And
I saw
was
that
like,
screen. Yeah.
I was enjoying it so much, and I was like, okay, we'll come back on Thursday. Obviously the planets had moved, and because, as they all want to do in a space simulation, there's that realism you're looking for. But the planets moved, and I replanned it, and then I have replanned it again, because every single time I was getting to a planet, it was the ring was like perpendicular to where I was, so I had to play about with it, and replanned it again, and got them all in like an order that I was happy with, and then did not do a successful run once for like for like 6-7 attempts in a row. Like the third or the fourth planet I hit went straight into a ring, and there's only so much patience your boy has, I'm not gonna lie. And so that, plus the fact that No Man's Sky was doing a new expedition, I was like, you know what? We've peaked.
Yeah, I think you did well. I put myself through 3 days of what you described.
I couldn't do it,
because
mate.
You know, I'm sure there's lots of examples of this. There's a scene in The American Office where Michael Scott is saying goodbye to the warehouse, and he goes, "Bye, warehouse, catch you on the flippity flop," and he tosses a basketball over his shoulder, and it doesn't go in, and he just keeps doing it again and again and again and again, until eventually one goes in and it looks really cool. Um, I kind of went on that basis. So I spent 3
Okay.
days basically just holding down Super Cruise Overcharge from one ring to another, thinking sooner or later luck will get me to go through that gap. And it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen.
Yeah, I
couldn't
think
believe it.
I was the best one in the world, and I really, really, really enjoyed this race. Just to clarify, before I bitch about it, because I'm going to, I really, really enjoyed this race. I thought it was great. I wasn't keen on the bonuses rewarding dumb luck. That would be my one piece of feedback for it. Was if you were lucky enough to make it 3 days down the line of constantly trying, and you got the dude perfect run, then Yeah, that's great. But
Yeah. The thing is, I didn't. I think I almost proved to myself that luck was not going to cut it.
yeah.
So yeah, I was in two minds. I'm still not sure if it would have been better just with no bonus whatsoever. It worked
Yeah.
beautifully as a race, entirely by itself. And the run I was proudest of is not even the one that's on the leaderboard. I had a run where I think my base time was faster a little bit, and I took a lot of pride in the base time and not
Yeah.
very much pride in what speed I happened to go through the game.
100% agree entirely. There were a couple of times on that first day. There were a couple of times when I was like going faster than I genuinely thought my nerves would allow me. There were times where I could have stood up and taken the chair with me. I was like so tense. But yeah, it was an excellent race. It's got me thinking about mine now. I have a semi idea that's formed, so that's quite fun.
Cool. Yeah, it was beautiful. No disrespect to Indigo, it was a really, really fantastic race, and I can't believe we hadn't thought of it before. Amazing. Talking of the next one, was Psychic just mentioning that the next race is going to be Caleb and Cola's Pop Gun, which is going to run from the 22nd to the 30th of June. He has dropped a trailer. I've decided to save it for next week's Community Corner because it's we're a little bit ahead of ourselves with promoting the Buckybill race. But if you see that trailer floating around, watch it because it is just fucking genius. It's the best trailer for anything in Elite I've ever seen. Pop Gun. I can't remember what he's called. I think he's posted it on the forum already. I'm sure you'll see it popping up.
It's appeared on the forums.
Cool. Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, one thing I did think about that route though is if people had agreed on what order they were going to hit it, they could have had a head-to-head race.
Yeah,
because it's all within one system.
Yeah, I don't know what that would look like in Super Cruise. I mean, I had a little session, maybe a half hour, where I was going around at the same. I can't remember who it was, but I was going around more or less the same route with somebody else. And occasionally, when it always sort of makes the hairs in the back of my neck stand up. That kind of noise when a super cruise ship kind of scoots around behind you, I always associate it with being interdicted. But there was quite a lot of that going on, which was all quite exciting. So you'd be racing on this course, and you'd be hearing this kind of going on around you. It's great.
Yeah, if we get a one like that, we're going to have to organise a proper sort of 20-ship race. Go for the full wacky races.
Yeah, I like it. It's a nice idea. I might try and do that.
Yeah.
Fun.
So if you have a community event taking place soon and you would like us to shout about it over the airways, tweet the crew at Lave Radio or email info@laveradio.com. So quickly, the in-game events or what's been happening this week. It will come as no surprise that we've had no Galnet news this week. But the Thargoid War update, well, this has been the first cycle since the new mechanics have kicked in, and it's obvious that things have changed. The Authoress, this is talking from personal experience, the Authoress is still as tough as it always was, but now it counts in the background simulation as much as 4 sampled scouts does, where before it was like a quarter of a sampled scout. There's the whole load of guys over the Anti-Xeno Initiative have now worked out how much taking down an interceptor is in scout scans, which I think is a great commodity to trade in. But presently, this week, 33 alerts were started, with 18 of them being stopped so far. All of the ones around Indra have been stopped. 9 invasions, and all 9 have been stopped. We've got 605 controlled systems, but 5 have been liberated. There are 4 Titans left, and 18 systems in recovery. Indra is the next target, but Arthur on the live stream said we shouldn't get cocky.
Yeah, I mean, he said shit like that before, and until Indra spaffs out 80 alerts at one time, I'm gonna say, yo, Frontier, You shouldn't get cocky.
Yeah, no,
don't know.
they've definitely got something up their sleeve.
Well, it did spaff out 30 alerts. One of the Titans did,
Yeah,
didn't they?
that was the one before her dad. Whichever one
Yes.
that was, the one before her dad.
And he specifically also, so that was the other thing he said. He specifically said about the Titans not just sitting there and taking it.
But they are.
But he implies very strongly that they're not about to anymore. They're going to do something else. They've got something up their sleeves, definitely.
Well, I'm hoping so, because at the moment, it would be nice to have an extra little twist, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or would it? Dun dun dun. Right. Well, I'm going to have to say this, something that I haven't said in quite a while. It's that time of the week again.
Store alert!
Well, this is typical, really, because at 5 o'clock today on the forums, I said, I was there on the forum saying, if they really wanted to actually make some money, they'd be putting more Python skins out. And then half an hour later, they did. And we now have two new Python skins, the Python Mark II Venom Cyber and the Python Mark II Venom Blank. Both of which have the same kind of styling as the previous ones, but in different colours. And I must admit, if out of the two of them, if I had the arcs, I'd go for the blank.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, as much as I do like my my Python Mark II, I have got quite bored of the grey.
Have you?
Or
That's interesting.
the
Because I was
charcoal.
going to say, so I haven't got a Python Mark II. I decided they weren't getting any of my arcs. See previous soapbox. But I rather think but my sort of feeling was that they've rather scuppered themselves by making the base Python Mark II so beautiful. I mean, there's something I really like about it. It's that kind of grey, slightly scuffed grey finish to it. And I think I just prefer its base paint job. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about the looks of the Python Mark II, and then it just got me the other week, was that if you go back in the depths of time, probably before Psykit was born, there was a game called
Let's be honest.
F-19 Stealth Fighter, and the design of the stealth fighter, which came out before the actual stealth fighter was revealed in the Gulf War, looks almost exactly like the Python Mark II. And ever since I saw it, I was there thinking, it looks so familiar and I can't place it. And of course, that's where it comes from. So, yeah. Oh, I am so old.
I'm going to buy the pink one. I did say earlier when I saw it, I'm going to be strong. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to be strong. Frontier ain't getting any more arcs from me. Fuck it. I'm buying the pink one. It's delicious. I'm really mad at Frontier.
We've got you now.
I'm really, really mad because I was like, no, all of these skins are shit. And then they gave me one in purple and pink. No, 6K arcs. No. You're going, it's 6K arcs. It's not bad. Like 2 weeks ago, it would have been 4,500, something along those lines. That was about right. 4K, 4.5K. So that's an extra number of arcs, 1,500 arcs. That I'm not happy. I'm going to get down from my soapbox, but fucking
It's when you do the ARCs conversion, it's about £3.
Listen, it's not actually how much it is, it's the principle.
You know what? Before ARCs
Rat
came,
bastard.
yeah, it's the thing is when they actually brought ARCs in, I did the maths for the old ones and worked out it was a heck of a lot cheaper than the than the old. Oh, here's £2 for a skin. But yeah, I will probably be saving up for the blank. So yeah, looks like you've already got one sale Frontier. Don't worry, you'll get another one of them at least.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and suggest that it's Blanc.
You rate it as Blanc, not blank.
Blanc. I think it's the French for white, isn't it? Rather than
it is, yes.
Because blank should have a K on it. I reckon it's Blanc. Oh, yeah.
Well, I come from the.
Blanc.
I go from the hello accent for.
Yeah, you're doing the hello accent. You pronounce it blanc and not blank, Colin. You're doing that thing where you backpedal and you get it wrong.
Right. Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with our main discussion.
From the creators of luggage limpets and passenger lounge suitcase shuttles comes the latest revolution in passenger transportation, the passenger cannon. For centuries, circus performers have perfected the technique of being fired from a cannon. Paired with our new memory gel passenger pod impact absorption technology, you too can speed up disembarkation times from your liner by up to 250%. No longer be limited by pad sizes and excessive docking fees with the passenger cannon. But how does it all work? First, all passengers will be issued with a passenger pod inflation suit during transit. On approach to your passenger's destination, simply fill the inflation suit with our patented impact-absorbing memory gel. Then, once in a stable position in proximity to the destination, effortlessly slide them into the disembarkation chamber ready for launch. The passenger cannon is now available in both gimbaled and turreted varieties to make aiming elementary. Make your liner one of the top 1% in the galaxy. Buy a passenger cannon today. Warning, passenger cannon must not be operated on high-gravity planets or near geysers.
Are you struggling with paying fines? Do you lose sleep in hyperspace worrying about docking at the next space station? If the answer is yes, then you need to call Cowell & McGrath Fine Management Services.
I got scanned while in Federation space and was caught carrying slaves. It was an unexpected expense that I couldn't afford on top of my fines for damage caused whilst docking.
We can help you consolidate all your existing fines into a single large fine, payable in regular instalments at what is almost a competitive interest rate.
I called Cowell & McGrath Fine Management Services, and they helped me pay my existing fines before I got a bounty on my head. They really saved my life.
At Cowell & McGrath, we've helped thousands of pilots whose fines had spiralled out of control.
I dared not go near a police star system. Got so desperate that I'd almost resigned myself to a life of piracy. Luckily, I found Cowell & McGrath Services before I actually murdered anyone in cold blood.
No fines too big, no criminal record too damning. We're here to help you, no questions asked. Find us in the Lave Business Directory.
I'd got into debt as a result of a massive counter lawsuit by Watt and Prittney. It happened because I'd taken advice on Python protection insurance from... Wait a minute! It was you!
Cowell & McGrath. Minimum liability, zero accountability. Warning, balances may go up as well as down. Missed payments may lead to repossession of your ship, seizure of cargo, or the issuing of a death warrant.
Before I also went off and died. Tasty, tasty cannibalism.
I'll be the least likely to die. He died first.
Yeah, I've never before discovered plants.
We here at the Lavian Centre of Dubious Science have had enough of those idiotic numbskulls polluting your airwaves with nonsensical utterations, mindless articulations, and downright vacuousness. Our premier linguistic experts, psychologists and scientists have collaborated for years to find the perfect antidote for such silliness, and are proud to present Professor Pebcap's Miracle Elixir. Our closely guarded recipe is designed to target the sensibility triggers nestled within the frontal lobe of the cerebrum and gently caress the cerebellum, meaning that clumsiness, terrible decision-making, lewd comments, and rare but fun rants are a thing of the past. Place 1 drop under the tongue when you wake up and 1 just before sleep, and settle into an elevated state of practicality that's more suited to the responsible commander. Professor Pebcap's Miracle Elixir. We've not tested it yet, but we're sure it'll do the job just fine.
I haven't heard that one in ages. Right.
We know we know how to take the piss of ourselves. Even.
Well, obviously, the main discussion this week is what was revealed in the last Frontier stream. They unveiled the Type 8, which we know is the following. It is a trading vessel. And it is SCO compatible. It is a medium-sized trading vessel as well, so that means, it will land on the majority of the systems that are the landing pads that are out there. Yes, it does seem to have 4 medium hardpoints. So, but to tell you the truth, although that does sound like it does fill a gap, it did look distinctly different from anything I'd seen before. So we'll start with Psychic. What was your impression of this when you saw it?
I thought it looked so cool. Which is I was not expecting to see any form of ship which is called a type something and go, hey, that looks really cool and dope.
Yeah, not as boxy as they normally are they? Well, it is still boxy, but
it is still boxy. I think the design is really cool. I went, oh, that looks like it's dropped straight out of Alien. Which and then they said later on that it was an Alien, like a nod to Alien as well. And I was like, yep, yeah, well, it just looks like it, you know. Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. I think it's beautiful.
Yes, I you know what I liked the most about it was the engines at the back. The way that they seem to have this kind of X configuration that close and open.
Yeah.
So it looked great to me. Alec, what was your opinion of it when you saw it?
I absolutely adore it. I think it's amazing. It feels really and to a certain extent the Python Mark II as well. It feels like Frontier have sort of upped their game in ship design. They mentioned greebles and things, which I think is always a little bit of detailing, but it just feels like a lot of the Elite Dangerous ships, for good reason. You could always see the nod to the little wireframe triangles that we all knew and love in the 80s.
Yes,
all those of us that were alive at the time, and it feels like they're really moving away from that now and designing really detailed, intricate ships that bear no relation to triangles. This looks at just love it. This it's like it was saying about the alien thing, which they referenced. I think it was on Commander X, this video that I mentioned, but he described it as like the power loader from Alien doing a Superman flying pose. There's one particular shot from the set that they released that is very much that. It looks amazing. Also the engine's coming out on sticks. I hadn't even noticed that until somebody pointed that out to me. Have you noticed that? That the engines move when it's off the ground?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool, isn't
how they're gonna move in and out, hopefully. And we know very much that this is still work in progress imagery. Hopefully that's already something that they've got pretty much nailed in, and they don't remove that for the end project. I just want to set I want to do that thing where I set expectations and like be like aim low, gang. But I know what we're like.
And it's nice. I kind of like the practicality because you see it landed on the ground, and of course those engines need to tuck in for it to land. You know, in fact, the lower engines are only just off the ground in one of the screenshots. But then I guess in flight, I don't know, maybe you want more spread from your engines for whatever insert law reason here.
Is that a spread with plenty of pushback?
Spread, yeah.
Is that what we're going to call the afterburner on that thing?
If they do the pay for pre-release, which I'm sure they will, I'm going to be I'm going to be quite hard pushed not to spend some marks on this one.
Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, I must admit. Okay, we'll quickly flip over to Ben.
I mean, just to very, very quickly touch on the engine states, we've already got a bunch of ships who can move their widgets around, whether your landing gear's up or down. So we know Frontier of the tech already to move things. So I think it totally makes sense they can get the engines to extend and and things whether your landing gear's up or down. So I'm not too worried about that. And also, I mean, this is just purely a science thing, which obviously has got nothing to do with nothing, but I would have thought, and I'm not a rocket scientist, that having your engines further apart and more uppy-downy and sidey-sidey would give you better control authority, potentially.
Yeah.
If you're more away from your center of balance, then maybe you get better control. But then again, it's a video game. Who gives a shit?
I was thinking of that, but on the other hand, we kind of do things like pitch and yaw and roll with lateral thrusters, don't we? So we're not really reliant on. But yeah, whatever. It looks great.
Whatever. It looks cool. I agree. I mean, I think it looks very industrial. I would love to see this being, absolutely brilliant at things like mining. I want to see this sort of. I want to know what is the reason for the two great big prongs. Why are they there?
Mm-hmm.
And I want there to be a reason for them to be there, as it were.
I think mining is a really good shout.
I have a theory for you, Ben. Again, I think this was on Exorcist's little thinky piece. He suggested that they do look like they've got machinery in them, actually, at the shot I'm looking at, which doesn't really fit with what I'm about to say. But the suggestion was that they gave extra cargo space without increasing the landing footprint.
Oh. Yes, because that was the whole thing about the Millennium Falcon, wasn't it? The Millennium Falcon, the
You're going into something that I was going to touch on, but yeah.
Yeah, because no, I'll let you touch on it then, Ben.
It could very easily be an external.
Whatever you do.
Yeah, it could very, very easily be a way to dock with cargo containers, essentially. Yeah, that would be a great idea. And that was the original idea for the Falcon's two proggy things before they went off and shoved an escape pod in there, didn't they?
But wasn't that escape pod? That was one of Lando's modifications, wasn't it?
It might have been one of his mods. He just made it sort of fit in. But yeah, they do. Yeah, I want a reason for it, and holding on to cargo containers could be a reason. Excuse me.
I also,
you look amazing.
It's just cool, innit? Because
I
remember when the Krait came out.
Aye.
And one of the first things I did with the Krait, which I loved, was I went mining in it, and I just loved being able to look to my right, with
seeing your mining being
seeing this machinery come down in front of you. So being able to see your hard points, which they said are going to be largely focused on these prongs, I think that'll be brilliant. I love being able to see the hard points. There's all this wonderful detail that they put into our hard points, sort of animations on recoil.
We never see them, do we?
And we never see it.
Yeah, and she does look like a Type 6 and a Krait had a baby, doesn't she?
Yeah.
I was thinking more along the line of an X-wing and a U-wing.
Yeah, but I'm trying to keep it in Elite.
Oh, all right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing very definite other game vibes from the engines of it. You know, almost like this. I'm seeing so many nods to, as we were saying, aliens, but also like from the rear edge is almost like the Normandy. Yeah, with the whole engine pod thing.
I mean, a little.
Oh yeah, very.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like the shape of the engines at the angles.
Also, the moving engines as well is very SR1. So don't oh, okay. If they bring out if the next ship Frontier brings out looks exactly like the Normandy,
give us a white and black.
I'm never ever going to play another game other than Mass Effect and Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, give us a black, white, and red N7 skin.
Oh no,
Or,
no!
You know, maybe you could call it.
It would
an
have to be a
N8
collab.
skin.
It would have to be a collab, and Frontier just
Oh,
won't
that's not
do
gonna
it.
happen. Yeah, no. Doesn't No Man's Sky have a collab with?
Yes, it does. Funny you should mention that. It does. It does. I managed to get my Normandy back today.
Did you?
Yeah, I managed to get it back.
I bet you it hits a bit different now that you've actually played Mass Effect.
It genuinely did. I have a memory of going, I don't give a fuck about what this is. And then there is a video.
This is my shit.
Complete tangent, but there is a video on my Twitter of me actually crying over a ship in a video game that I can't even fucking fly. So, yeah.
We can't fly them in No Man's Sky.
They're a frigate that attaches to. Yeah,
You
they're a
sent-
ship
you
that
sent them
attaches
off
to your carrier kind of thing.
Can you explore them?
No.
Nope.
No, but they do look really, really pretty.
So it's a pretty thing outside.
Yeah. This is anyway. Back to the Type 8. It is it's beautiful, and it's going to be. It. Do you not feel like it is so different to every other ship that we have?
A bit, because it's not a cheese wedge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
It's the
on
Mambra cheese
that
wedge.
subject, why
Could be.
when they first announced that we would be getting 4, possibly more new ships,
Mm-hmm.
why did they stress variants when this is clearly? I mean, in what way is this not a new ship?
The only thing that's the similar to any other ship is that it's got the classic Lakon cockpit.
Yeah.
Now, I think the reason that they're calling them variants is because, as far as they're concerned, the cockpit is going to be, from your point of view, is going to be exactly the same.
Right.
So,
okay. So they
although-
haven't gone to the trouble of. Well, I say trouble. I don't want to slag this off because it's a beautiful piece of work, but they haven't done the extra effort. You think of redesigning the entire interior and layout of the HUD and everything. They're using the same interior and putting a different exterior on it, I guess.
yeah,
To some extent, to some extent, but also that's also like a mentality of it. Well, if it's not broke, there's not much. Not much point in fixing it. So and I love. Especially, let's say, for example, that this is going to be, people are going to be using this for mining. Let's face it, people are probably going to be using this for mining. The view that you get out of that Type 6 cockpit is really, really good. And what Epaphras just said in the Twitch chat there said, maybe Arthur misspoke. Didn't he say on the last stream that he should stop calling them variants?
Yeah, he raised it as well. He said, this isn't a variant; it's a new ship.
Yeah.
And I'll agree with that. Because I mean, I have when we come to the question of the week, the one thing that I said about this is sort of it doesn't appeal to me. I won't be getting it, even though it does look nice. But however, since I did post that, I've been having second thoughts and thinking, actually, yeah, I probably would end up getting that on early access because, I like the look of it and I can see where its role is going to be.
Does anyone know? I'm sure this is on a few ships, so this is a sort of in-game ship design lorry question thing. So on the side of this ship, there's a round sort of bottle cap. It's almost like a dirty, great big axle that goes right through the middle of the ship and out the other side. Do you know what I mean?
I can't visualize it at the moment.
Big, round, I don't know what we're showing on the stream, but yeah, it goes right in one side and out the other, and it's kind of a big round thing. Yeah, a big round thing that goes right through the middle of the ship, which is otherwise lots of squares and flat edges. And I'm sure, is anyone answering me in chat yet? No, not yet. I'm sure the Python has a similar big round thing, and I wondered what it was, whether there was any law that said what it was.
Big round thing.
Look at the shit that shows it.
Oh, right. Okay. From like, sort of from left to right, you mean going through? There's like a cylinder. Maybe that's something to do with the SEO. Does the Python have that as well?
I thought it did somewhere.
Oh, you mean there's a big circular thing at the back, isn't there? Got you. I know what you mean. I wonder whether it is, because it does look like it's the engine bay, doesn't it?
I need to go and dig out a picture of Python now. But
yeah, I'm literally scrolling to pull it up now.
No, because the circle thing that you're on about is between the two tail fins in the Python Mach 2.
Oh, is it? I haven't got a Python Mach 2 picture in front of me, but man types on internet for podcasts.
Yeah. Good radio list.
Legitimately, I'm looking at the video. We need to start. It's got it in a slightly different place on the Mark II, but it's vaguely similar. There's still like a circular point to it. Maybe that is something to do with the maybe that's something to do with it.
Are we looking at the thing on the Python
maybe
that's kind of in the bottom and goes vertically, so it goes up? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think like maybe that's that's the
yes, the world's
that
biggest
defines
fuel
it and that distincts it. Maybe.
Yeah. So I've got an idea where I can see the Type 8 coming in useful. So obviously you've suggested mining.
Mm-hmm.
What other roles do you think this could be used for?
I want it to totally and utterly take over the Python. I want it to be better at I want it to be better at hauling, but not better at passengers. I don't know whether that would work, but I'm thinking if I can just like have my Python for Rubigo runs and then this for everything else that the Python used to do. Yes, please. I think it would make a great ratting ship as well.
Anybody else?
This is an unconventional suggestion, but for one very good reason: exploring, because it will look awesome in screenshots.
Yeah, man.
T8 in front of things.
Yeah.
No,
it's good enough.
T8
hugging things.
Yeah, holding things between its rock hands.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I can see this one being the go-to blockade runner for Power Play 2.0. I think because it's got the new SCO drive to a better way, to better implemented than existing ships, I think that this will be the default cargo carrier or smuggler that could be used to transport goods quickly and efficiently to make sure and to outrun people who have got Python 2s on intercept. I can see this one being, I don't know, the prey to the Python's predator, to be honest.
I hope it's got good hard points and a really good convergence as well.
4 medium on the arms.
Do you think so?
Oh, well, that's what they said in the stream.
Did they say 4 medium?
I didn't think they said anything.
Medium.
They definitely said on the arms, but I don't know.
Yeah, I knew they said
any.
Yeah, I didn't hear them say anything about.
Oh, I must have got that from the loose screws then, because they were under the impression that there were 4 hard points and it was on the arms. So that's my source. I've got it wrong. But yeah, I'm hoping that this will be the blockade runner that I am hoping for, because when you're blockade running, you don't actually have to stay and fight. You just need to get away. As long as you can get away and make your delivery, you win. So yeah, All right, we've got Sen Half says it's too large and too medium.
I genuinely can't remember them saying anything to those
Yeah.
to those extent. Otherwise I would have put it on the question of the week tweet, because all I thought that we knew for certain was that it had it was a medium. And
Medium sized ship.
it would go
Yes.
into a medium pad.
Yeah.
But I thought they were still working on confirming which ones.
It does feel at the moment they're trying to make the Python Mark 1 completely obsolete, because they're going to have a ship, the Python Mark 2, which fights better than it, and then you got the Type 8, which will fly cargo better than it. But yes.
I can't wait for the next two. I mean, these ship designs are cracking.
Yeah, I must admit, it has given me quite a lot of more it's given me more confidence of what's coming soon. That's certainly true.
Yeah, it was funny when they said variants. I mean, it was exciting, the prospect of new ships, but when they emphasised variants right at the beginning, I was like, so we're just going to get slightly different, But these first two ships have been like, oh wow, these are way more than just slightly different.
Yeah, so we've got a fighter, we've got a cargo runner, so a passenger liner, and then maybe an explorer.
Well, yeah.
Medium passenger liner, maybe with a third wing. An explorer, which is not the Adam Mark II.
I mean, it definitely is. I wonder if they'll do a Diamondback. They can't. If they did a Diamondback, I'd never be out of it as well. Imagine the jump range you'd get out of a Diamondback.
A lot. Hang on. What about an Asp Mark II?
I mean, Asp would be a good choice as well, I think. Oh, I don't know. I really like the fact that it A looks different, and it B like just it's just so different. I feel like I'm being so
Jack,
weird with it.
Jack Havoc in the chat, just go and wash your mouth out with soap and water.
Mark II. No one would fly it. You've got to remember that Frontier were doing these things for people to enjoy.
And basically get the money in. Yeah, Ben.
It's going to be the Cobra Mark 4A.
Actually, to tell you the truth.
Only available to...
Only available from Rotten Orbital. Or that base which is in Lave system, which is still permit locked.
Oh God, no!
Dear, yes. Sorry, Cobra Mark 4, the only ship I know it's pay to lose. Right. Well, obviously with the Type 8, we put out a very interesting question of the week, which was, what do you think of the Type 8? What you're hoping for from it with internals and functionality, and will you be picking one up? So we'll start with Ben.
Yeah, Ben needs to alt-tab and not crash into a rock. Hold on. Point myself up. There, that should be all right. I know this is awesome radio.
My God.
I don't want to crash into rock.
I should have reminded you.
Crash into him. Crash into him. Force him into the rock.
Someone destroy him. Just someone gank Ben right
leave
now.
me alone. Okay, anyway, Frank87 saying, I'm hoping it's capable of deploying a ship launch fighter. Seems like a reasonable assumption.
Well, if it's based on a, I don't know. There is the one with little flappy wings.
Yeah. Go back.
Yeah.
I feel back my son.
Yeah. Could be possible. Would you want it with a fighter? I must admit, if it's mining, I'd like it with a fighter, just to protect my ship.
It would make it. It would also set it apart from the Python as well, because the Python can't have a fighter. Am I right in saying that? I feel like I've just made up a fact.
You are completely right.
Yeah.
The Python Mark 1 can't have a fighter, neither can the Mark 2.
Okay, so yeah, I think yeah, that would be a further thing that would set it apart um the pythons as well. So it like would would that be something blockade running expert? Would that be something that you would have in your ship for doing blockade running or no?
Yes, you see, because that is the ultimate sacrificial lamb. You send out your fighter, tell them to attack your attacker as you make a run for it. Because it doesn't matter because you've got 8 more of them and your pilot doesn't die. So, yeah. It's even better. Go on.
There's a shot, I think it was the one I was referring to actually, where it looks like a alien loader doing the Superman pose flying towards the screen. Just on the underside, I feel like quite near the front, behind the cockpit, is a tiny grey rectangle, which could be where the SRV bay comes out.
Mhm.
And then, kind of at the back, there's a much larger grey rectangle, which could be a fighter bay.
Fighter bay, yes, because that's normally what they are. So those kind of little those kind of rectangles are. So if we're going to speculate and say yes, it will be fighter compatible. I'll get absolutely mangled if I'm wrong. But then again, someone told me that the Type 8 was going to be a fighting craft last week, didn't they?
Well, no, hold up. I will pull up Arthur's tweet because, like, genuinely, I was so pleased that it wasn't, because we've got one in the Python. So I was so happy that it wasn't like combat focused entirely. So that's great. I will quite happily shoulder the burden of being wrong. It's not a problem at all. Elvis Kremen says, love the back end. I bet you do, you filthy, and the moving nacelles. But we'll grab one, but no early access for me. Hopefully it will rival the Python for cargo carrying on medium pads. Maybe 5 weapon slots, 3L and 2M. You don't want for much, do you, Krem, mate?
5? Where are they going to go? I can't see them having 5.
Two on the left, 2 on the right, one
up the
someone
middle.
in the middle. That's how that works, yeah.
Well, moving on from that Kama Sutra position, I've got Commander Machine, or too early to tell. Hopefully, let's hope that this is the start of a trend in injecting new ships into the game on a yearly basis. I'm hoping that they do that as well. I mean, I have a sneaking suspicion that the Python Mark II is a success at the moment, and it's brought in lots of oodles of arcs for them. Whether that's actually transferred into cash, we don't know, but people have been spending the arcs.
Yeah.
So if this keeps up, then I don't see why as long as it makes them money.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, this is, for me at least, for me at least, not so much the ARCs prices now, but we've had big conversations about how we felt like the pricing for early access to a ship was kind of reasonable, and it worked with the old ARCs pricing. Let's say the old ARCs pricing, it worked, and it seemed reasonable. Granted, now the ships practically feel cheap. So it's if Frontier want to continue throwing money at the development of this game, throwing money into making variant ships, and asking us to throw money at it, is a proven Star Citizen mechanic to make money. You know what I mean?
Yep.
As long as they don't go to the extremes.
Shinra Desert was crawling with Python Mark II, so somebody's throwing money at them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Commander Fosdyke says it will be great for bringing stuff planetside in a possible base building new feature.
Oh, that's interesting. You've got bits of base between those 2 arms that you can deploy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's would actually be necessary given the way this game probably works, but I do love the idea of like landing next to your half-built base with one of these stuffed to the gills with the materials you need to extend your base. I can really visualize that. It's very scenic. Ben.
Crashed into an asteroid.
No, I just forgot to turn my microphone on. And
That
actually,
feels
I deliberately stopped for this one, just forgot to turn my mic on. Commander Crichton Zeroth is saying, my favorite looking ship in the game since the Python Mark Who? Also, kind of looks like it ought to bounce. So, hoping for some kind of hydraulic suspension in the landing gear.
It does look a bit brickish.
They included, and obviously I can't put this in the show notes, but they did include a GIF of a car bouncing with hydraulics and you know those kind of things. They included a GIF in the message, and it made me laugh. And I wanted to share that it did indeed make me laugh. It was good. I'm really looking forward to seeing it in action and seeing it actually move. I hope we get a video like we did with the Python.
Yes, very much so.
I'm sure we will.
Did we get screenshots of the Python first and then we got the video?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're on track, lads. It's okay.
Next, we know that next month they're doing an in-depth profile on the ship itself, so hopefully there'll be a video with that. But it probably means that we're about 3 months away from getting it. Well, before getting early
we need
access.
to get a breakdown of what's inside of the internals, don't we?
Yeah. Well, no, we never got a breakdown of the internals of the Python until the Python was released.
We knew how many hard points it had, and we knew what the hard points were, but we didn't have and utility slots. We knew that it had X amount of hard points, X amount, like the 6 utility slots, but we didn't have a full rundown of the internals. But we'll get them.
You say 3 months, Colin, but if we're going to get 4 ships this year, they need to speed that up a little bit.
Maybe they just announce it.
It's gonna go. It'll be sort of mid-year next year by the time we've got all 4. I reckon.
Maybe.
It's a frontier year, isn't it? A frontier year is 3.5.
What was the thing?
It could be a financial year.
What was the thing where Arthur pounded the table and said it's definitely this year, and there was all that furore on Twitter?
That was about the ships, I think.
Okay.
Definitely
this year, then. He's gone on record.
I mean, I'm all for giving the guy a break. It's fine. Silas Resi says, not for me, just not at the moment, but I love the design. Fair one, Silas.
I've got Commander P. Pagan. I will be picking this freighter up, and I hope it will compete with the Python in cargo space. Effects will be interesting. This is the last month with the old Powerplay modules, and the ship might be faring even better in Powerplay version 2. And in the undisclosed new feature as well. Well, we know what the undisclosed feature is. It's the SCO drive, isn't it?
No,
or did they say there was something else as well?
What he's talking about is the thing that's coming after Powerplay. So, like the unconfirmed.
Oh, the undisclosed. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Sorry.
Not base building.
The thing that I'm really hoping is base building.
I'll be picking this freighter up. I hope it will. Someone just blooming cut and paste the same paragraph twice.
That's me rushing because you also asked me how my day was at this point.
Ah, right. Commander Pagan, it was such a good point. I said it twice.
Yeah, he said something else as well. That's on me. My apologies, Commander Pagan. Sorry.
Sure, it was gold. Real Dan Fitz says, absolutely stunning ship. I love my laser mining trade Anaconda and my core mining Python and Krait, but I'm really hoping this will replace all 3 of those. I think it is drop dead sexy. Can't wait.
Horatio Gimper is saying needs to have more potential cargo capacity than the Python. Currently, the Python is pretty much the best ship for medium. I've lost my line now. Is the best medium ship for cargo and passengers. Needs better options.
Yep. Yep, 100% agree. 110% agree. I will add that Commander Pagan's other thing that he said was, plus this is officially a new ship, so everything is on the table with the remaining 2. So FDF could bring 2 more new ships after this one. Who knows? But after the Type 8, expectations will be high. That is for sure. That's what they said. My apologies again. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, my bad. Parasitus says, no, hate the blind spots that the design creates, as I like an unobstructed view of the universe.
He doesn't like the arms in front of him.
Don't like the arms.
Nope.
Don't like the arms. You're not gonna like that. You're not gonna like him on a crate either. You're not gonna like him on a which is the other one? Mamba. Mamba's got them. What else has got something that you can see shit out the sides of?
I mean, I've stupidly put the Reaver ship kit on my Asp Explorer, thereby obscuring its beautiful domed front glass window with lots of iron girders and spikes.
I'm just looking at a crate window just now, and the front bits don't really chew up a lot of room unless you turn on head look and
yeah, they're quite short. You have to look right to see your kind of.
If you look right and up, then yeah, you've got a whatever you call it right in front of you.
These are going to be in your face, aren't they? Very much so.
Yeah.
Hey, I can also see my large weapon, so hey.
Yeah. I've got Bograt here. It has the potential as a good mission runner, and depending on the loadout, we'll see if it can do just that. I will get one, and I like the Python Mark II. I'm not in a rush to get it. I'll pay credits, not arcs.
Fair enough.
Grandpa Aquaman says, I wonder what slot types will be in it. Modules and utilities, I'm assuming he means. Yeah. Yeah. Don't we all? It looks like krait without wings, so will it be medium? Yes, it is medium. They have confirmed it's a medium pad ship.
It is.
I wonder how.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just thinking. I need to go back to the screenshots. I've closed them all on my screen at the moment. But I wonder what it'll be like in terms of, you know, how some ships can be quite difficult to get the SRV out of. I wonder what it'll be like for that. Like whether it'll be one of those ships where you can never get back to the damn SRV bay because there's always a pebble underneath it.
Oh, that all depends on whatever ship you're flying. I've had that problem with a Sidewinder all the way up to the Anaconda.
But it does vary. Some ships are definitely better than others for ground clearance on that kind of thing. We shall see.
So Melon Husk is saying, if it has decent cargo, the well-tempered SCO will make it great for high-grade farming and remote platform delivery.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah. Ain't wrong.
Valeric says that the Type 8 looks absolutely awesome. Excellent job to the people who worked on it. I'll buy at least one. Like others, I'll be waiting until their credits purchasable. Hoping for a good bit more storage than the Python Mark I to make it the highest capacity medium hauler. Me too. So much.
How does the Python can carry more than the Type 7, can't it?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, but the thing is, the Type 7 was, I think, a third of the price.
Was it?
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper because I remember this because I when I went from a Type 6, I went to a Type 6 to Type 7, and then found out about it's a bit big, this thing, and then I ended up having to grind that Type 7 until I got enough for a Python. And moving from the Type 7 to a Python is a breath of fresh air. I cannot stand the Type 7. It's giving me flashbacks.
I just reckon the Type 7 holds more than the Python.
Well, it didn't actually. The Type 7 got modified in the same way that the Type 9 was. So, yeah. But initially, the the Python was better at cargo running. Anyway, Viking Zero, I will be grabbing one, and I'm hoping for lots of cargo space and maybe a big shield generator. Yeah, something big enough to stop Pythons ripping through you in one shot.
Sorry,
That's cool. I love I love how everyone's like the Python who. Python Mark 2, Python Mark who, get out. Get out. You're not wanted here anymore, bitch. I want to sit centrally to my ship.
Yeah, I was distracted by a person in chat who says the Type 7 is 310 units of cargo and the Python is 294.
Not much doing it, considering it says the T7's always been a large craft.
Yeah. Anyway, SP4H. Is that what we're going with? Could be Spa, I suppose.
I'm pretty sure it's SP4H. But good try.
Yeah. I suspect it will be fast, but have poor maneuverability, or have poor speed, but excellent maneuverability. Let's try that sentence again, shall we? I suspect it will be
Mark
fast,
for
but have
edit.
poor maneuverability, or have poor speed, but excellent maneuverability. Either way, it should be fun.
And as long as it can survive enough time to do a jump out of a problem, I think it'll be fine.
Well, yeah.
The Deadbeat GF is poking the bear a little bit, saying, I shall be using it to hover outside the window of the bar Alliance factions who think they should control Lave, orientating it so it looks like a well-known gesture. A bit. But not exactly like a victory sign.
Back to the U-wing then.
A bit back to the U-wing, yeah. Well, use something anyway.
Your mum? No.
No.
Sophia, after that, says, I'm curious what Lakon was thinking, making it part of the type family. If it's missing their one key feature being a box, especially because it's right in the middle between type 6 to 10. But the design is top. Gives me vibes of both a Gundam and a Fortress. And I kind of love that.
I can see what they're saying that, but it still is boxy.
It's like a box and they've added a forklift to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny it'd be interesting to sort of carve away at it, but it does feel like there is kind of a Type 7 in there somewhere, like wedged in the middle of it.
Yeah. I've got that veiny mate. I think the design is successful. I think the design successfully conveys that this is not simply a Lakon ship, but a co-production of Lakon and Achilles Aerospace. Together, they have built a ship around their SCO FSD.
Which might explain why it's not just a box.
Yeah. Why it's got a big shaft right through the middle of it. Peter says, I think it would be a great mining vessel. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I suppose I don't know what people have in their heads when they say something would be a great mining vessel. To me, mining, because I never did much laser mining where you're spaffing out hundreds of limpets and making loads of money, which is why I still don't have a fleet carrier. Mining to me was always deep core mining, and for that you kind of need a bit of maneuverability to dodge around and get at all the nooks and crannies. So that would depend on its maneuverability for me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I know my Python Mark 1 for a long time was my mining ship. But yeah, so Mecha Genide, maybe? Genide? I was thinking that too. It has the looks of a mining ship. Guns were mentioned in the live stream, so hopefully it can handle a good amount of light mining beams. And see, that's where I think they're going with it as well.
Yeah, if you're doing a mining vessel, you need at least 3 hard points to get a decent miner, don't you?
No.
No?
Nah, if you can do it with two with with the Python, you really only need two. And with the amount of you got to weigh up amount of limpet controllers to cargo space. So I would say you only really need two, and then your limpets can keep up with two. If it's three, not necessarily. I mind a lot. I didn't. I got a fleet carrier through mining, so that kind of thing.
I mean, whilst it's not for me, you could also have, you've got your two, but then you could also shove on your abrasion and your deep thruster or whatever it's called.
It again, not for me, but it's definitely there's definitely something about it that I'm like, oh, it might actually be a decent like a decent core miner. Again, I can't stress enough how that's not for me, but it might be something cool. Commander 67 6 mistake not says they will definitely be getting one. We don't get new ships all that often. Hopefully that changes. Hoping for a combat freighter up to 300 tons, medium pad, tons of hard points, actually able to turn, support a fighter bay, potential for an epic multi-role ship. In other words, all the things.
Would you like a coffee machine with that too?
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's good enough for the crate.
Krait.
Yeah, Krait Mark II. Yeah, definitely. Got one from this little biggin. Yeah,
vaguely aware of him.
Mm-hmm.
He seems real cool.
We'll definitely be getting one. We don't get ships all that often.
Oh shit! No, that's not Chris's thing. I'll let me come back. Circle back. I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, that's 67 mistake notes again.
Yeah, my apologies.
Alec, do you want to go next then?
Yeah, I'll go next then. Happy Moon Monkey says, we'll be buying it and is hoping it has internals and functionality. I can guarantee it will have internals, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it'll be functional. I think you're sorted, Mr. Monkey.
There we go. We have a coffee machine with a cup and a biscuit on it.
Sure.
Lovely.
You need biscuits with your cups of tea.
Ben?
No, I need to scroll down again. Oh, don't crash. Rocky Star is saying, looks mint. Don't know if I'll get this one in early access, but I hope it has a good jump range. Decent open play survivability, and still able to haul more than a Python. I love how everybody's comparing it to the Python.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't look anything like it in a way, but I think people can see the multi-role capability in it, or they want it to be.
Colin, go back to Chris's.
Okay, right. Well, I'm going back to the little biggian part of the Chris Collective.
Big fan of the Chris Collective. I'm a big fan.
I'm looking forward to the Type 8, he says. I'm a big fan of the change in the direction of the design language from boxy wireframes to more modern designs. Internal-wise, I hope it will carry more cargo than the Python, again, while shielded, or at least have parity. Hard points, not that fussed about, maybe a couple of smalls and mediums. Hope to get a decent power plant and power distributor, maybe a size 7 power plant, 7 power distributor, 6 engines, maybe takes a size 6 FSD. Yeah, picking one up. The free rebuy for the ship is too good to pass up. Hopefully I can replace the Python that I use for BGS stuff with this.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I knew I liked him. Good lad. Nicey says, "Whoa, cool." Plus, it's the few not horrible uses of beige. They will be buying it for credits though, and as long as it can comfortably make rocks go boom, they'll be happy. Some nice animation / sounds are always welcome too.
Yeah, What do you think the sound design on this one's going to sound like? Because I get the feeling it's going to sound.
But when you
It's
go
really-
higher, it goes.
As opposed to the previous version that went.
Someone got that reference.
I'm sorry, Si.
Oh dear. Kill us
Colin
alive.
has no
Right.
excuse.
Kill us alive. Right. Commander Schnail says, what I'd love to have for the Type 8 is a great all-rounder, but more than a freighter than the original Python. Still the best Swiss Army knife out there, which has always annoyed me. Fitting on a medium pad, but it needs Oh, tick.
Yeah.
Quick, cheat, clean glasses, right? Tick. But it needs big internal bays to go with it. Comparable carry weight, but obviously in a balanced way. FDev have generally had that nailed. Whatever it turns out, however, will I get one? To paraphrase Jack Nicholson, you're dog. Oh, no, I'm not going to even do that. You're goddamn right, I will. If I ever do a Jack Nicholson impression, it always comes across as Jim Carrey.
You almost went there, but then
I almost went there, but I didn't. Thankfully.
You noped out of the bit so hard, it was beautiful.
Mad Dog says, I for one can't wait to buy a T8 and use it as a space pallet pump truck.
Space pallet pump truck.
Excellent. I'm aware of most of those words in that context.
Oh, dear. I know pump trucks just got me for some reason.
I don't even want to know what that is. Anyway, Glan Van Ross is saying, I can't decide if I love or hate the forklift arms, but more variety in ship design is a good thing. Will be interesting to see what variations are possible with the ship kit, and whether they utilize that void between the arms. We won't get anything amazing like dynamic cargo canisters matched to your payload capacity, but being able to fit a static load via a ship kit would be good enough. We'll definitely buy one for ARCs. Buy one with ARCs for early access, so Frontier gets more positive feedback to produce more spaceships for a spaceship game. Kind of idea, that, isn't it?
Good point.
Who'd have thunk it? Hopefully, hoping the internals give a better payload capacity than a Python again. It would be nice if it was a little more maneuverable than a typical Lakon freighter.
Well, the only other typical Lakon freighter is a Type 9, and God, even an Adder's
That's
more
got a
maneuverable than
maneuverability than a brick.
It's a shoe. It's a shoe's maneuverability with that. It's.
Yeah. It's a Type 9. It doesn't need maneuverability.
So, with the added stability that the SCO drive offers, or like these new ships in collaboration with Achilles Aerospace, with that new added better stability with the SCO, does it mean that it's also just going to be better maneuverability in general? I hope so, because the Python 2 flies really nicely everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So fingers crossed.
She is fun to fly that.
Interesting.
I don't think she'll fly as well as that.
I don't think two will follow, actually.
No, I mean, she can't fly as well as Python 2, but she can fly better than a Type 8. A Type 8?
It is a Type 8.
6 or a Type 7.
Oh, Type 7, I definitely agree with you.
It was interesting in the Buckyball race, which was all Super Cruise. So I actually paid quite a lot of attention to Super Cruise maneuverability when I chose. I ended up choosing the Clipper, which is no. Do I mean Clipper? Clipper cutter. Yes, Clipper. Which is actually really maneuverable in Super Cruise. It's fantastic. But when it actually comes to trying to put the damn thing down on a pad, if it doesn't happen to be drifting the right way when you're close to the pad, then it just keeps going, and you're like, you've got your fingers down on those kind of lateral thrusters to try and get it back, and it just takes a long time to stop moving. So yeah, very different Super Cruise and normal space maneuverability in that ship. Anyway, I don't know what the point of that was. Claire.
Acelerin says, it might just be me, but I don't have a ship that I feel at home in. There's plenty of ships I like, some I even love, but none that feel like this is the ship for me. I'm loving the design of the Type 8, hoping its internals are just as impressive. And it's a bloody medium ship, yes! Maybe it will fill this ship-sized hole inside me. I'll probably pick it up early with Arcs.
Oh dear, someone's got a ship-sized hole in them.
I mean...
Well, I have Genie. I love the looks. The design is very Star Wars in places to my eyes, yet different enough to be its own thing. I'll definitely be getting one of these in the game. It needs a decent medium freighter that isn't the Python. As far as the internals, I expect it will outdo the Python for carrying capacity, but be less well armed. And it's obvious that it is compared to the Python because that's the best medium cargo ship there is at the moment.
Yeah, I see a show title coming on something like "Not a Python," or better than the Python. I don't know. Who'd win in a fight between a Python and a Type 8?
There's only one way to find out.
There's only one way to find out.
I like the one we've got.
I like the one we've got. It was fine.
Commander de Camper. I love the look, both the arms and the industrial JCB style. I will be picking one up for credits when it is available. I'm hoping it makes an even better Robigo Mines runner than the Python.
Kebs Wills saying, it looks like the love child of a Krait and a Mark 7. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I'll probably get it early if it's same as the Python Mark 2. Yeah, I hope it has the capability to do lots of things at the same time. I'd like a large number of internals, smaller obviously, more than the big ships. None of them military would be cool. A medium ship that can do everything at the same time.
See, this is the thing. I don't, because that ship already exists. Because that's the Python Mark 1.
Yeah.
This one is more cargo carrying. I am gathering.
I would imagine more cargo and less pew pew for this one, but we'll see. I think.
And finally,
Steak Typhoon looks like a great ship for photo ops and roleplay. I think we'll be seeing many a Type 8 holding things to go along with all the asses in front of things. I hope it's easy to cargo scoop for those times when you forget your limpets. Maybe the scoop will even be visible to the pilot. I'll buy early access if there is one.
Yeah,
that would be cool. I don't think it will be because unless you had 2 cargo scoops, one under each arm, but that'd be quite neat, wouldn't it? Be actually be able to see stuff going in your cargo scoop.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out how you could actually have 2 cargo scoops because it's only got one reticle.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? Unless it's an asymmetric cargo scoop, that would freak people out.
Unless one of those cargo arms it detaches to the cargo arms and then moves down into a cargo scoop.
Getting silly now.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. I am. Right.
Now, ship sailed.
Anyway, moving on. So thanks to everybody who's given us these most excellent answers to the question of the week. There will be another question of the week this Sunday between 12 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, there should be. There should be. I'll figure something out. It'll be fine.
As we listen to the Chris Mark for doing his radio show.
His excellent radio show.
On Black Diamond FM. See attached notes for details.
No, don't see them for details. Check his Twitter.
Check his Twitter and then
when he forgets to post.
Request really, really obscure songs that takes him ages to find. Right. Anyway, any other business? Well, we do have one very important any other business, and that is, of course, ECM. ECM is happening this year on the 10th of August down in Blackwell. And yes, so it's the Hutton Orbital Truckers meetup, community meet, and yes, or the Elite Community Meet to give it its proper name. Just to give people an update on this one, tickets are still available. However, all the hotel rooms have gone. I missed out on a hotel room, so I'm in the blooming Travel Lodge.
Not all hotels in the area have gone, just hotels and hotel
just
rooms
the
in the
hotel
hotel.
rooms at the venue have gone.
I foresee a minibus being chartered or something to. Because
Other
there's quite a
hotel
lot of
rooms
people
are
living over-
available.
Yes, other hotel rooms are available, mostly at the Travel Lodge, which is a short walk away. Yes, so
Is it a drunken stumble away?
I'm hoping so.
15 minutes, I've been told.
Oh, it's a 15-minute stumble.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Does it go past a kebab shop?
It'll need to. Right. So yes, there'll be the whole load of hot and orbital trucker things going on. There was a whole lot of things going on last year, and also we are doing a little light Lave Radio episode. They've let us say hello. Won't be as long as a proper episode, but it'll be only 3/4 of us.
It'll exist.
It'll be a thing for sure.
It'll be a thing. There'll definitely be something happening.
Yes. So yeah, hopefully see you all there. Yeah. Right. Has anybody got any other business before I do our shout-outs?
Yeah, I'm going to mention this because I sort of threw this in, but yeah, I'm doing a thing at ECM as well. I think I alluded to it.
Yeah, you've alluded, but you've not unleashed.
I've done a lot of work on it. It's definitely not shit. I'm actually really quite proud of it. I'm not going to give very much away, but in my spare time, I'm a bit of a fan of immersive theatre in various ways, kind of site-specific stuff and stuff where you go and explore buildings and things. And I've done a couple of things called subtle mobs, which were beautiful. They stopped, unfortunately, but so the basic principle was that you downloaded one of a number of possible MP3 files to your audio player of choice back in the days when that's what you did. So you just pick one at random and you went to a location. I did one in Covent Garden in London and one at Edinburgh, Waverley Station. So you just turn up and at the prescribed time, so I think Edinburgh was like 3 in the afternoon, you press play. And the idea is that lots of people do it, and without giving too much away, there's a bit of a guide and lots of sort of lovely ambience, and you earn some instructions and you follow along. And I've done one for ECM. It's 20 minutes long. I won't say any more at the moment, but just to say, people, the more people that do it, the better it will be. I think if 5 people do it, it will be shit, and that would be a great shame. But if I can get maybe 30 people to do it, I think it will actually be really good. So yeah, bring your headphones to ECM, and we'll be releasing more details about this thing, which I am currently calling ECM Subtle Mob 3310. More details close to the time. We'll have these. We'll have MP3. The choice of MP3 files will be up on a website, and be quite nice to do some. So the MP3 files. There's only 2 of them, and they're called Heads and Tails. So you can probably guess the
Is
rest.
this like a flash mob but subtle?
That's where the name came from. Nobody will be asked to do any synchronized dancing during the course of this thing.
Oh God, thank God for that. So,
yeah, it's not really like that. It's much more listening to stuff, and there's a little game element that I've thrown in as well, but I'm not going to say any more about that. Is it? Katiana says, is it accessibility friendly? Okay, so it does. The general idea is that you wander around during those 20 minutes at a pretty slow pace while you're listening to stuff. It will be enjoyable for anyone that doesn't want to wander around at all. You won't be able to, I guess, take part in the full experience of it. but you'll certainly be able to put your headphones on and listen to it for the 20 minutes. The other nice thing that occurred to me is it will also kind of work for people that can't even come to ECM if they feel like joining in and experiencing it at the same time. Then anyone can download the MP3 anywhere in the world and press play at whatever time we decide this is going to happen, and pretend like they're at ECM. I've been wandering around Tesco's previewing it a lot and pretending like I'm at ECM, and it works quite well.
Wintermute DB's worried. He thinks you've put 20 minutes of LC You No Fool like one singing.
Well, you'll have to wait and find out.
That's under the Human Rights Conventions and torture, isn't it? Oh dear. Right. Yeah. Of course, I'll be bringing down the Elite Dangerous unofficial miniatures game. So yes. Hopefully we'll have Commander Dobbo dying as usual, as he always does in the most spectacular fashion possible. So anyway, on to the shoutouts. Our sister station, the aforementioned Hutton Orbital Radio, they broadcast on a Thursday from 8:30, and you can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're giving a shout out to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts. So there is the Guard Frequency who have gone a bit quiet at the moment. They will be back soon. And there's also those wonderful Loose Screws. And no, I'm not going to do the accent this week. So, oh yeah, and if you speak French.
No, I just let the funky music do the talking.
Then, of course, the Elite Dangerous do a podcast as well. So, following on this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest, as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. And well, thanks to everybody who's chipped in the Twitch chat. And the in-game commanders that you and the Chris Mark IV have put up with Ben are...
As the Chris Mark IV, I've been flying around asteroids.
We've had Andy Sharp 42 in the bar.
Oh. Lovely. So, special thanks to Commander Tokuso, Jane Trax, and Alan Stroud, who have created music for the show. And that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can find the contact links in the home/contact us menu of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Ben.
You.
Thanks to Claire.
Cheers, lads. Oh, happy Pride!
There we go. A whole month. So there.
Don't worry. I've not been that gay today. Next week I'm gonna be super fucking gay. Get ready for it.
You go, darling.
Oh, femme ship again, all over again. And of course, thanks to Alec.
Thanks, Colin. Night all.
And we've also got the Chris Mark IV and Commander Ventura doing tech, I think. So, thank you to you two. Is it? I don't know which one's doing it.
It's Chris Mark IV. It's Chris Mark IV with them being here.
Okay, it's the Chris Mark IV who's done tech. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Norman's just lurking, is he?
That's what's confused me. So until next time, Commanders, fly safe, and if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. Need a safe word.
Space can be low.
I'm gonna see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Digest, 4th of June, 3310. We read the news, so you don't have to. In this week's news, Winters is still coming. We wonder if we'll get a community goal in 3310, and we ask the most important question: is salvation really dead?
President-elect Felicia Winters continues to wait to become president, a whole year after the election should have been held. Meanwhile, Fat Toad Hudson continues as president 11 years after he was elected. The election was due to be held in June last year, the 10th anniversary of President Hudson winning the race to replace the missing believed dead President Jasmina Halsey, who now lives in the Alliance as an advisor to Prime Minister Edmund Mahon, which some might consider to be missing presumed dead. After Hudson failed to change the law to allow him to serve another term, he moved the election back to the 16th of October, ostensibly because of the Thargoid War. Even after Winters won the popular vote, the handover of power was repeatedly delayed, most recently on the 21st of February, this time by Winters herself, who wanted to focus on the relief effort after the terrible earthquake on Rhea 3. The relief effort is presumably ongoing because Hudson remains stubbornly in charge of the Federation. Likewise, in the Empire, Senator Zaminator Val's return to politics seems to have stalled, and the Emperor's gravely ill mother presumably remains on life support. It's almost as if all these threads were waiting for some sort of big new development in how politics works in the galaxy.
What the galaxy needs now is a good CG. A community goal is an opportunity for commanders to get together in what would otherwise be an intimidatingly huge galaxy to meet up and work together for a common cause and some free cosmetics. There were no community goals in May, with the last coordinated community effort to help Achilles reverse engineer the Thargoid Titan technology that underlies the Supercruise overcharge. Likewise, there were no community goals in March, with the supply drying up in late February, just after the Aegis research initiative that led to the development of the shielded Titan-destroying nanite torpedoes. After a gap of a month and no imminent prospect of another Titan being destroyed, surely it is time for the next CG. Perhaps we could help the superpowers research political science and interior decorating in preparation for Power Play 2.0.
Is salvation really dead? On the basis that we've heard nothing from him for quite some time, and there's no hint of Azimuth planning something really terrible, probably yes.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News. We would read the news, if there was any, so you wouldn't have to.